All right, ready to dive into Atlantis.
Always ready for a good mystery.
It's amazing how this one story, this one idea, has just stuck around for centuries.
It really is, and people are still so passionate about it. Finding proof, debunking it, just figuring out what it all means.
I have to say, I'm pretty excited to dig into all this material you sent over. Looks like we've got some serious research ahead of us.
We do. Ancient texts, modern research, even some sonar readings I thought you might find interesting.
Sonar readings. Okay, you've definitely got my attention now.
I thought you might like that. So, where should we begin? I mean, everyone knows the basics of the story. Lost city, advanced civilization, swallowed by the sea.
Right, right. But is there anything more to it than just a captivating story?
Well, that's what we're here to find out, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it all starts with Plato, right? His dialogues, Critias and Timaeus, those are like the foundational texts for the whole Atlantis myth.
They are. And the level of detail he goes into, it's really quite remarkable. He describes their canal system, able to bring large ships right into the heart of the city.
I remember reading about their architecture, the white, black, and red stones. So vivid, almost like you can picture it.
And don't forget about the baths, the cisterns, their sophisticated water management system.
It's almost like he was describing a real place, right?
He does make it sound pretty believable, even their military. 1,200 warships at their command, according to Plato.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Talk about a naval superpower.
Yeah.
But was it just a story, a morality tale, perhaps?
That's always been the big question, hasn't it? Was Plato just trying to make a philosophical point, or was he describing a real place?
Well, regardless, it's an incredibly compelling story. And it makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's some truth behind it.
I think that's what keeps people coming back to it, that possibility that there's something more to the story, something real.
Right. And it's not just Plato. Flood myths are found in cultures all over the world. The biblical flood, the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Don't forget the Native American stories, too. Those are
It's
fascinating.
like a universal theme. This idea of a devastating flood that wipes out a civilization. Could these all be echoes of a real event? The sinking of Atlantis, maybe?
It's definitely something to think about. I mean, the similarities between these flood myths are pretty striking. There's always a righteous man warned of impending doom.
Right. And they always end up taking refuge, either in a vessel or on some high ground.
And ultimately repopulating the earth. It does make you wonder, could there be a historical kernel of truth buried within these legends?
And wouldn't a cataclysmic event like the sinking of Atlantis explain why these stories are so prevalent across cultures?
It's a possibility. But remember, myths evolve over time. They can get embellished, details added, or changed.
Sure, of course. But still, it's hard to dismiss such widespread narratives as mere coincidence.
Agreed. It definitely warrants further exploration.
So where do we go from here? What other pieces of the puzzle do we have?
Well, let's talk about some of the tantalizing hints that have been found in the Atlantic.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it. What do we got?
Well, there have been some deep-sea soundings that have revealed underwater formations, like the Dolphin Ridge.
And people think this could be...
Some believe it could be part of the sunken continent. There's also evidence of submerged islands between what would have been Atlantis and the Mediterranean.
So, potentially a chain of landmasses that once connected the two.
Precisely.
That's incredible. It's like a breadcrumb trail leading us right to Atlantis.
I wouldn't say it's that simple. Geological evidence can be tricky to interpret. What might look like a man-made structure could actually be a natural formation.
Okay, point taken. But what about the cultural connections? The pyramids in Egypt and the Americas, sun worship, even mummification practices.
You're talking about those intriguing similarities between ancient cultures on both sides of the Atlantic.
Exactly. It's like they had a shared origin or some form of cultural exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't a land bridge like Atlantis explain how that could have happened?
It's a compelling argument, I'll give you that. A land bridge would have provided a pathway for cultural exchange, allowing ideas and technologies to flow between continents.
Right. So maybe there's more to these similarities than just coincidence.
It's possible, but we also have to consider the possibility of independent invention. Could these cultures have developed similar practices without any direct contact?
That's a good point. But it still feels like there's a connection, doesn't it?
It does. Perhaps further exploration will reveal even stronger links between these ancient civilizations.
I sure hope so. This is all so fascinating. I'm already hooked.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
I can't wait to see what other secrets we uncover.
Me neither. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, those cultural connections. Let's delve a little deeper into those, shall we? It really is remarkable, isn't it? These parallels, I mean. Pyramids in Egypt, pyramids in Mesoamerica. How do you explain that?
It's mind-boggling. Like, are we really supposed to believe that these vastly different cultures just coincidentally came up with the same idea?
Well, some argue that the pyramid shape is just a natural architectural solution, for building large, stable structures. It's kind of a common sense approach.
Maybe, but it's hard to ignore the similarities. It's not just the shape, it's the scale, the grandeur, the whole concept of building these monumental structures.
You're right. It's definitely more than just a practical consideration. There's a symbolic element to it, a sense of reaching for the heavens, maybe.
And that's what makes me think there has to be a connection, a shared origin, a common source of inspiration. And wouldn't Atlantis, a lost civilization with advanced knowledge, fit perfectly into that picture?
It's an intriguing possibility. Imagine a civilization capable of building such incredible structures, sharing their knowledge with other cultures across the globe.
It's like something out of a movie. I can practically see it now. Atlantean architects traveling the world, sharing their blueprints, inspiring others to build their own pyramids.
Okay, now you're getting a little carried away.
I know, but can you blame me? It's exciting to think about. And it's not just pyramids, is it? There are so many other cultural parallels, too.
You're right. The sun worship, the mummification practices,
Yeah.
even the agricultural techniques show some overlap.
But what about the flora and fauna?
Ah, yes. The fact that similar plant and animal species are found on both sides of the Atlantic, that's a pretty big clue.
Right. Like those ancient ferns, the ones found fossilized in both Europe and North America.
Exactly. And certain freshwater fish species, too. They're distributed in a way that just doesn't make sense unless there was once a land bridge connecting the continents.
So it's like all the evidence is pointing in the same direction, towards Atlantis. It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
I have to admit, you've presented a pretty compelling case. But hold on, we're not done yet. There's one more piece of the puzzle we need to look at. Language.
Language. Oh, this is getting good. Tell me everything.
Well, some researchers believe that ancient languages hold clues to the existence of Atlantis.
Like hidden messages or something.
Not exactly hidden messages, but patterns, similarities that suggest a common ancestor language.
Okay, I'm following you. So which languages are we talking about?
Well, one fascinating example is the Basque language. It's spoken in a small region of Europe, and it's completely unrelated to any other known language.
Really? That's so cool. And what does this have to do with Atlantis?
Well, some linguists have noted similarities between Basque and certain Native American languages.
Whoa, hold on. Are you saying that there could be a linguistic link between ancient Europe and the Americas?
It's a possibility, and if that's true, it would provide even more support for the idea of a lost civilization bridging the gap between the continents.
This is incredible. I never thought about language as being a clue to Atlantis, but it makes perfect sense.
Language is a powerful tool. It can tell us so much about the history of human migration and cultural exchange.
So are we saying that traces of Atlantean language might still exist today?
It's possible, but proving it is incredibly difficult. Linguistic connections can fade over time, words change, meanings shift. It's like trying to reconstruct a shattered vase. You might have some of the pieces, but putting it back together perfectly is a real challenge.
But what if we could? What if we could crack the code of these ancient languages and hear the voices of the Atlanteans?
That would be incredible, wouldn't it? It's like opening a time capsule, a direct link to a lost civilization.
I can't even imagine what we might learn. Their history, their technology, their beliefs. It would be like rewriting the history books.
And who knows, maybe someday, with advances in technology and linguistic research, we'll be able to do just that.
It's amazing to think, that we could be so close to uncovering the truth about Atlantis. A civilization that could rewrite history, just waiting to be rediscovered.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? All that knowledge lost to the depths of the ocean. It makes you realize how much we still don't know.
And what if we found proof? Definitive, undeniable proof. It would change everything we thought we knew about the past.
It would be a monumental discovery, no doubt. But even if we never find that smoking gun, this whole search has been incredible, don't you think? It pushes us to explore, to question, to dig deeper.
Absolutely. This deep dive, it's been like a journey through time, uncovering clues, piecing together the puzzle.
And who knows what we might find next.
That's what keeps me going. It's the thrill of the unknown, the possibility that we could stumble upon something truly groundbreaking.
You're right, the journey is just as important as the destination. But I still believe we can find Atlantis.
Me too. So what's the next step? Where do we go from here?
We need more collaboration. Archaeologists, geologists, linguists, historians, all working together, sharing their expertise.
A multidisciplinary approach. I like it. It's like we need an army of Atlantis hunters, all focused on solving this mystery.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, someone will uncover that one piece of evidence that changes everything.
I could just picture it. A diver exploring some ancient ruins, and boom, there it is. An inscription, an artifact, undeniable proof of Atlantis.
It would be incredible. But we have to be realistic. Those kinds of discoveries are rare.
I know, I know. It's more likely to be a slow, painstaking process, piecing together fragments of evidence.
Like a giant jigsaw puzzle, with each piece bringing us closer to the complete picture.
And we're not giving up, are we? We're going to keep searching, keep exploring, keep pushing the boundaries of what we know.
Absolutely. The mystery of Atlantis, it deserves our attention, our curiosity, our determination.
To all our listeners out there, join us on this quest. Dive into the research, explore the theories, keep the spirit of discovery alive.
Who knows? Maybe one of you will be the one to finally unlock the secrets of Atlantis.
Until then, keep searching, keep questioning, and never stop exploring the mysteries of our world.